Hi guys, and welcome to the beast. Now, all I can say is I've been really enjoying this. I've not had much chance to do much on it yet, but what I've done so far, I've been really enjoying. I'm going to go over a few of the things that I've found with it so far. Now, many months ago, I did a review on this stuff, which is the Vallejo black shade. It's an equivalent of GW's Bad Black Wash. Now, I've had some good experiences with this and some bad experiences with this, and I had a bad experience with this tank. I'm not happy about it. Certain areas, after I put it on, certain areas, it started to pull some of the paint up in certain areas. I'm going to try and find a spot for you if I can on the tank. Here we go. See that area there? Right, pulled the paint up. I cannot tell you why. I shook the hell out of it. I diluted it. I think there's a problem with the actual mix of the paint. Sometimes I think if you've not got the exact right consistency in the jar right, and you pick more of the ingredients than you should up, and you put it in your palette or you put it in your airbrush and you shoot it out, it's going to give you an adverse effect. I'm going to show you also on the underside of this tank. See that white chalky residue? That's because of that wash. Now, I'll be honest, I've used it before. I've not had bad results from it at all. So I know Varnish has used it and he's had a bad result from it. So I don't know. I won't say it's a terrible product because I've had some good results with it. But I will say this. I'll be very, very wary about using it in future. And if someone can actually tell me why I'm experiencing those problems, if they've got any sort of idea of what it could be, let me know. I had messages in the past a long time ago saying, oh, you must be working Vallejo, stop bashing GW. But I'm an honest person, and if I think a product's good value and it's working really well, I'll tell you. But on the flip side of it, if I think a product's poor and it's not working well, I'm going to tell you that as well. And I do believe that I don't know, there's definitely something going on with that Vallejo wash that I'm not too happy about. But anyway, let's forget the wash now and let's get back to the cool stuff. This awesome APC. You'll notice that the tank's very shiny at the moment because it's still sitting on a gloss varnish, and I'm going to go over the reasons why I've used the gloss varnish. It serves a few purposes. First and foremost, it's going to make whatever you're painting way more durable. The whole reason that you use it to begin with is to actually lay down a nice hard surface to protect your paint that you've laid down on your model, really. But the other reason I've been using it recently is for accurate shading. If we can get in here, if you can actually have a look at the rivets, and I've got to say there's over 100 rivets probably on this tank, easy. It just finds out exactly the notches in the rivets, and it just shades where you want the shade to be. I'll show you on the top of the tanks, just like so. I'll pan the camera over a bit, and you can see it just gets the detail exactly where you want it to go. So using the gloss varnish, and I'll show you. Just bear with me. I'm going to come back in a minute. I'm going to actually show you what I used to wash. What wash I used. Right, where was I? Yes, I've been using the old school inks. Now, anyone that's been in the hobby for a while knows that before GW did their washes, they used to have inks, and Vallejo still do the inks, and there is no difference not that I've found anyway, in these inks and what GW used to make. They're pretty much exact carbon copies. And the reason why I use these is they actually leave a slight gloss finish. And just like the gloss varnish, because of that, they really want to run into the recesses. They're really heavy pigmented as well, so you can water them down and you can play about with them really nicely. And as I say, if you're pin washing, which the technique's called, where you're just using the capillary action of the brush, so you'd go up to the rivet there and you'd touch it with your brush, and the paint just would suck all around the little detail area and around the edges, and it'll do all the shading for you. You could obviously do the shading way more subtle than I've done it, but I have like an opinion. In the world of 40k, the colours have to be vivid, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not talking really, you know, in your face, you know, psychedelic colours vivid, but you want things to pop. I mean, it's blue, you know, ultramarines are blue. I mean, when was the last time you seen a blue tank, you know, in the war zone, or you know, but yeah, so I mixed with the blue there, some of the black into the mix, so it's quite dark really, and you can see I've even washed into the panel lines. Let's pan out a bit actually. I washed into the panel lines as well, and the you can see there like the rust marks running down. You can really water those down, which I did on some of them. I'll try and find ones that I watered down. Well, what I did, I just used it neat first, then I watered it down and done the drips that come much lower. Like obviously you got heavier drips at the top that get watered down at the bottom really. But yeah, let's just put these back in there. That's where I am at the moment. Hopefully in the next 2 or 3 days I'll have it all finished. The airbrush work was done with 2 colours. I use this as the base, which is French blue, and I progressively added drops of light sea blue to the mix to bring up the highlights. And what I did as well is, if I can take these back off and show you, I don't know whether the camera can pick it up under the light, but the higher up the panels are, the lighter actually hit them with colour. You might see this panel is probably the highest panel on the tank. It's ever so slightly lighter in colour than these panels, and as you can see in here, it's much darker in paint, so it gives you a much more natural look to the overall colour. You've got to be very subtle. A good example of this is this hatch here. You can see that because obviously it's going to be way darker there as it's coming up, and it's not going to be directly hit by the light, but at the top you can see it's much lighter in colour. These are effects that you can do with the airbrush very quickly, but if you was doing it with a brush, I wouldn't even like to think the amount of time it'd take to actually apply those same techniques to a you know, a vehicle of this size. But I think that's about it. Let me know what you think, guys. If you think there's anything I could change or anything I can incorporate to this lovely video.